Rappers, today let's discuss what are your goals as a featured artist on somebody else's song. Let's talk about it. Rappers, I'm sorry, I usually say rappers and producers, but unless you out here rapping, I'm only talking to the rappers today. Rappers, let's have a discussion. What is your goal as a featured artist on a song that you've been invited to? Now, in my particular era of hip hop, the goal of a featured artist was to murk off the other rapper. It was part of the competition, it was part of the tradition of hip hop, it was part of this competition, this ongoing and silent competition that said, I cannot have the weakest verse on this song. That is not going to happen. If I have the weakest verse on this song, I will be forgotten about and I will be pushed off into the oblivions of hip hop. I don't know what that even meant, but you know what I'm getting at with that. In my particular era, that's what it was. In this next particular era, it seems that people are understanding that the goal of a feature is not to just outbar the other person, or outbar the other rapper. The goal is not just that. The other goal is not even to out-showcase the other rapper. And I feel that transition has happened in many different ways where I should take that back. Maybe there are rappers who do feel like they need to out-showcase the other rapper, but their means of doing that now is not through just lyrical terrorism, for lack of a better term. So I think now the goal is really to push your brand through as clearly as possible within that feature. What does it mean to push your brand through clearly? If you are on a song with a super lyrical miracle rapper and you are a rapper that you say, somebody's gonna, hey, do you on that, but you need to be the best prime example of that. You need to be you at 100 for you to make that feature make sense. When somebody's asking you a feature, what are they asking you for? Are they asking you to be somebody that you're not? Are they asking you to become a rapper that they've been their whole life? I don't think that's what they're asking you for. I think when a rapper asks you for a feature, he's asking for you to bring some of your juice, bring some of your juice to that particular song because it needs your particular flavor. Now, if you have a style all your own, you have a voice all your own, understand that you also have a following that is expecting you to be that no matter where you're at. That's part of the authenticity of being an artist. It's part of the authenticity of being a rapper in 2017. I know a lot of y'all probably gonna laugh at that and say, hey, none of these fools they studio gangsters. Say what you will, but I think that there is an authentic nature in people saying, look, this is the brand that I'm coming in with, and I don't care if it's not what I would have been doing in my everyday life if I didn't rap. This is my brand and I'm staying consistent with it no matter who I'm on a song with. That's why when I listen to songs and I hear people criticize the Lil Yachty and Lil Uzi Verts for not outbarring the other person, I'm like, that's not what they're there for. To me, it doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't expect a car to be a minivan. You wouldn't expect rollerblades to be a scooter. You don't expect these things to be. They are what they are in their nature. And they are what they are, and that's what makes them the best possible representation of that. So, you as a rapper, what is your goal? Your goal is, if your voice is a very raspy voice and somebody has chosen a beat because they feel like your raspy voice is going to add a different texture or different elements to that song, you need to bring that. If somebody does want you because you're super lyrical miracle, don't try to adjust to the song and be the other rapper. They want you. And if you do you and they don't like it, they don't want you. They want your brand. They probably want what you built. They probably want the fan base you built. But the thing about it is it makes it almost not even a reasonable or not even a logical situation for you to jump on a song that is not going to increase your viewership and not going to hold your brand to be as honest as possible to what it is. Be who you are. Do the things that you would do if it was your song. Something I've done, especially when people, because other rappers are not always thinking that logically. Let's be honest. I've had rappers that sent me songs and I was like, it's talking about hoes and bitches and all this. I don't talk about that. That's not even my character. But then I looked at it and I said, okay, my goal as a feature is to make sure that I share my brand in the most high light possible, in the most authentic way possible. How can I approach this song? Have I ever had a woman that was actually less than nice? How would I approach this conversation being Curtis King? And that's the way that I wrote that verse out. I didn't have to use not one cuss word in it. It was just, that's who I am. That's what represented my music. And I was still able to make my brand be a part of that. Somebody who's a great representation of that, Andre 3000. It's one of my favorite features to hear, because no matter what song he gets on, he finds a way to give you Andre in a whole nother flavor, but it's still Andre at the core of it. This is what you got to do when you're approaching these features. Do not lose your core trying to get somebody else's core fan base. Once again, it's another Curtspiration doodle. Look, if you need some more of this juice, please subscribe to the channel below. Be a part of the notification gang. I'm gonna stop doing that before I get shot. If you need to get some more of your questions answered, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters. Look, rappers, if you want one free beat every month, for every month that you a Patreon visitor, or not even visitor, contributor, go to patreon.com/CurtisKing and be a part of the $50 reward campaign. Producers, if you want drum kits, I got you, bro. I got you. Go to the Patreon. And to double back on the concept, look, when it comes to being a featured rapper, just understand that you don't have to outdo the other person doing what they're doing. You literally have to be the yin to their yang. You have to be who you are and who you would be if the song never featured anybody else. I'm not saying go on there and just be oblivious to what the vibe of the song is. Find your way to kind of, you know, match the vibe of it and match the rhythm of it. But at the same time, do not forget what made you who you are today and which puts you on the radar of that rapper to begin with. In this life, you will not be full of life until you decide to live life to its fullest. Curtis King of CurtisKingBeats.com.
I can't listen to you. When I listen to you, it's a liability. Cause you be mentally killing my inner energy. So I'm concealing my feelings before you injure me.